From Inwood in New York City, welcome to Inwood Art Works On Air. It's where you meet through musicians, writers, theater makers, filmmakers, and artists of all stripes that make their home in what we affectionately call upstate Manhattan. I'm your host, Aaron Sims, and today we are hanging out with filmmaker Samuel Wright Smith. Sam is a multimedia artist, animator, and filmmaker based in Inwood. He is interested in projects that blur imagined boundaries and explore connectedness. His animation work primarily utilizes less common low-tech physical media techniques, including watercolor, linocut print, collage cutouts, and oil pastel. Smith is interested in philosophies of social practice and dharma art. His experimentation animation work has been screened at such festivals as Doc NYC, Rooftop Films, and in documentary produced by PBS. He is a NYU Tisch Film TV graduate and is also a lover of City Park sycamores, hollow cart falafel sandwiches, and controversially, Subway rats. We're here to talk to him about his work behind the camera. And so, without further ado, welcome, Samuel. Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. And the podcast voice is really wonderful.
Can bring it on.
Yeah.
Or I can bring it on. Or just exactly. I feel like I have to have warm fuzzy resonance coming through it, right? But well, thank you very much.
No, thanks for having me.
You have it as
Aaron.
well.
All right. Well, we're on a podcast together, so I guess that's perfect.
The baritones, could be our new band.
Okay, yeah. Well, you don't want me in your band. But,
okay. Well,
yeah.
You haven't heard me play either. So, great to finally spend time with you in person. We've only been chatting over email forever, and Sam is one of our Filmmaker Fund grantees. Thrilled to have him as part of the gang. And so how did you get into filmmaking? What was I know you went to NYU and all that, but it's like you don't just like show up to NYU and go, let's make some films, kids. Obviously there was a deep kind of like a curiosity coming from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean it was sort of innate and intuitive, to be quite honest. There's a story when I was must have been 8 or 9. Took my family's camcorder and did a little a drawn animation thing where you hit the record and stop button really quickly, and showed it to my parents, who were dismayed to see that I had taped over my little siblings first day home after being born tape. But it's sort of just been I like making things with my hands, and I like the image making and the lensing of it all. So it just, and also I was raised with a family that really loved and appreciates art, and it just sort of was the thing. There's not really anything else I think I'd be great at. So
that's usually my response when people say, what else would you do if you weren't doing what you're doing? I said, there's nothing else I could think I could possibly be doing, and that's where you know you're in the right place.
I mean, I'm sure I'd figure something out, but it's just where it's natural. You know?
Well, I'm a firm believer artists could run this country and the world very easily because we figure we're problem solvers.
We'd be late to everything, though, so
it's okay. Well, it'd be our country. We could do what we want to.
That's true. Yeah.
New rules. Days doesn't start till noon. Okay.
There you go.
There you go. But I do feel that we all find ways of creatively approaching and solving, or I won't say solving, but arriving at solutions that people seem to like because they keep subscribing to streaming services. They keep going to see films in theater and art galleries and things like that. So there's appreciation somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think art is often seen as secondary in terms of the need of a culture, but I really think that it's in so many ways the heart of society,
Agreed. Absolutely 100% agree with you. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
The best city in the world.
Yeah.
Home of Skyline Chili, Grater's Ice Cream.
Yeah, got rid of their lactose-free variety, though. So
sorry about that.
I really if Grater's is listening right now, get it together, guys.
Get it together, Grater's. Yeah. Come on. And also La Rosa's Pizza.
Yeah. And you're also from Cincinnati.
I'm also from Cincinnati. I just don't have an innate knowledge of Cincinnati foods.
Yeah.
And Geta. Are you a Geta fan?
I had vegan Geta for the first time.
Really?
Quite good.
Wow.
They've gotten something figured out. I was at the Cincinnati Independent Film Festival, which I feel like it's like a small but growing thing. It was really like lovely to see the art scene that Cincinnati's building.
Yeah. When I was growing up there, it was mostly just sports and barely any, a couple theaters, but not much, and not much except for Eden Park.
Yeah.
But well, that's really cool.
It's really grown. It's really gotten a lot. Maybe it's just that now I can like have a car and get around town a little more, but it's pretty interesting little budding art scene there.
It's a small burg, but full of creative people. That's for sure.
I
Heck,
feel
you and
like-
I are from there, so there you go.
There you go.
Right?
I feel like there's some parallel with Inwood too, where like I see Inwood is really blossoming.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I think so. It's like the conversation we keep having up here. It's like you keep running into people at farmers market or down the street, and it's people you see on Broadway or you saw at in a gallery or work or at a party, whatever, and their music. It's full of creative types. Absolutely,
Inwood's the best,
which is great for collaborations. Have you found any collaborators up here?
I actually yes, yeah. I lived. When I first moved up here with Malcolm Quinn-Silver Van Meter, also a recipient of the Inwood
Where's he
Filmmaker
been? He's
Fund.
fallen off the map.
He has been working his butt off in LA.
Okay.
And his movie, I think he's just trying to get the funding for the animated segment.
So he owes me a film.
I know, and we shot the film. He owes me a film too. At least one.
Let's gang up on him.
Yeah. I'll send him this podcast.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Calling
mister.
you out, Malcolm.
Yeah. We were random freshman year roommates, and we were touring apartments, and Inwood was sort of a wild card because it's like sort of far away from all our friends who moved to Bushwick, which, by the way, Bushwick. But no
Glad
offense.
you believe that.
Yeah, but we came up here, and it was like there's nowhere. If I'm working from home most of the day, there's nowhere better to be. But tragically, I'm in Harlem now.
You moved down to Harlem.
I had to. It wasn't by choice. Just
Get priced out?
I was messy move, as they often are.
I'm
so
sorry.
it was the last second option.
Got it. I'm very sorry to hear that. It's happening quite a bit in our neighborhood where we're losing a lot of our great artists. And funny that I wouldn't think Harlem would be a place you'd go. I'd figure you would go to like the Bronx.
We got lucky with a place in Harlem. But yeah, Inwood, like when we first moved here, was quite a bit less expensive I think it's still comparative to other places, not bad.
Sure, to other places.
But it is definitely changing.
Hard. Yeah, with the rezoning and everything.
Yeah.
Well, sorry about Harlem, but it's also Harlem's got a good scene too. And
I'm not far too.
And you're still uptown.
Like 20
so
minutes.
You're off the A. We'll take care of you up here. Come on up and come and visit. We'll keep your passport stamped.
Amazing. It's the best up here by far.
So in your bio, I mentioned the low-tech techniques and animation filmmaking you use to create, but you also have a very mindful and compassionate approach to your art. And I think as a person that shines through with you, can you reflect on how you kind of evolved in developing your voice and, so to speak, style storytelling?
It continues. I don't know. I guess. How do I answer this? Because it's just sort of intuitive in some way, just following the things that have been interesting me. I think with the animation, it's so all-consuming. I spend all day, every day drawing rats right now and painting them. And it's just all I do. And so the line between your life and your art, I think, becomes even more clearly blurred than maybe it might be in other disciplines. And I think that opens a door to a different way of looking at art when your entire life is influencing your art and everything in your world and community is influencing your art. And so I've become really interested in work that isn't solely about outcome. We live in a world where the product is sort of king,
Yeah.
You're supposed to have the film festival film that will get you to your feature, that will get you to your agents and whatever. And that's not a bad path. But I think that you can get lost in outcome, and process is really a chance to make a direct impact with your film. There's no gamble if you're doing it directly. So
Well, if you're focused on the end, you miss the journey.
Exactly. And I think with documentary in particular, it can lead to like sort of extractive documentary making, where you're trying to get something from somebody so that you can make your movie the way you want. And I think instead there's like a world in which we can make art that could be healing and productive. And so with Embodied, I was working with folks at the end of their life or facing their mortality. And everybody has walked away from it with like a feeling of clarity and gratitude, and myself also.
Yeah.
And I got really involved in like an end-of-life care community that was really, I mean, just it continues to be some of the most incredible people I've met.
Yeah.
And that sort of evolved in my current project, which ought I talk about?
Well, sure. Do you want to talk about Embodied first? And
we'll talk about Embodied some more.
Next one. Yeah, because I think Embodied's your point is like, if I may, I've seen only on my laptop. I haven't seen it on a big screen yet.
You must.
Well, that's the hopefully happen at the Inwood Film Festival
Fingers
coming
crossed.
up, right? But it's a film that, for those who don't know about Embodied, it probes and explores a lot about the uncomfortable territory that people have about death and dying. But ultimately, I feel the most important question it proposes is the movie is less about dying. It's more about how you want to live your life, and it's about living, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, or a life worth living.
Yeah, exactly. And it's about relationship and connection within that, which I think. Yeah. So basically, I guess I'll back up and maybe give some context. Is that?
Well, I think for those who. Well, we want people to go see the film, obviously, but whatever you want to do, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's like a series of vignettes that are sort of in context, sort of out of context. It's a little bit flowy and dreamlike, and essentially, it's just reflections on what folks are processing at the end of life. And the overlap between pretty much all of them is that it's about relationships in their life, and it's about how they can best love and best connect. And so I think if we can find that before we're faced with a terminal illness, and I think impermanence, I mean, when you can recognize that all things will pass, then the food tastes better, and the art is more meaningful, and the sunny sky is more radiant because you have it now, right?
Yeah. Appreciation.
Yeah. It's a movie about appreciation, ultimately, I think.
Well, I love it. I think it's great, and it's your first vision for it. I only know this because we've talked about it. Was much broader.
It was.
And then, so what was that challenge to narrow it down?
Yeah, I mean, the first version would have been pretty cool, and
feature version, perhaps.
We'll see. There's some cards in play, but yeah, basically the original idea was to meet with, I think it was like 3 or 4 ideally folks at the end of their life, like in hospice care, really in the last stages throughout the last couple months, and talk to them about their life, and then animate sections of that. Which would have been wonderful, but it turns out that our end-of-life care system is so medicalized that getting into these scenarios is really tricky. And then also there's an issue of establishing trust, where if you don't know these people before you go in, like I was talking about with extraction in documentary, there's a world in which it could become extractive. And so I needed something a little bit more narrow, and something that we could give like focus for folks to talk about, and a community that I could find my way into that was a little bit removed from the medicalized world. And so I got involved with the death doula community. Do you know about death doulas?
Only through you. I mean, actually, that's not true. I do know it's more prominent out in the West Coast, I believe.
Yeah, but it's becoming a bigger thing here. Yeah. It started, I think, more of a California thing, and it's expanding. But these are folks who work alongside hospice to deliver like care that maybe a medical system can't offer, which is like a lot of like, how do I deal with my relationships at the end of my life? What about my, like, where do I find a lawyer? Things like this.
Yeah.
And then that led me to end-of-life psychedelic care, which is it's not new. This has been practiced for many thousands of years, but this is now becoming part of the medical system and part of the hospice system in some places, where as part of therapy at the end of life, folks are given plant medicines, and this is not, you don't just give it to the people and then say, go figure it out. This is like a lot of therapy before and after. And there's a community of folks who are really excited to talk about it, because 4 out of 5 folks involved in this say that it's the most meaningful experience of their life.
Wow.
And that was my way to find folks to talk to. And then it became a lens through which we could look at dying. So the movie's not really about that. It more is just like, this is the lens through which we're navigating.
Right.
And also some fun visual fodder to reflect on what matters at the end of life.
Well, I was gonna say, it's like a kind of, that's what I was saying about earlier. It's like your own voice and your own style of storytelling. It's like how do you coat the pill, right?
Right.
And in many ways, like how are you, the story will be learned how.
Yeah.
And I think you do a really great job. And I mean, obviously these people are at end of life, and it's a difficult subject to broach for a lot of people staring at mortality. But I feel like there's to your kind of said earlier, to like, civilizations come and go, and yet why isn't art? Art usually is the most fascinating thing about a civilization to learn about.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of people too. It's like you do it in a very tasteful, I feel, and a joyful way with the animation and sharing the stories.
Yeah, we wanted it to feel sort of childlike and naive, which is like pushes up against what you'd expect for a movie where, one of our participants died during the process, and that's part of the story. And we just said, like, this could be such a bummer.
Yeah. Well, we see the title, you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then,
it could be such a bummer, but we used crayons. We just played with oil pastels and made it. Yeah, I think the animation also just tried to make it like a little childlike and free.
Well, but the cool thing is, you set out to make the movie you wanted to make ultimately, right? I mean, I know with some concessions, but you finished the film, and it's gotten quite acclaimed. How was the because your first debut was at Rooftop Films, is that right?
It was the most incredible premiere.
So tell us about it.
Yeah, it was.
How was it
just
received?
Beyond perfect. So Rooftop Films has a block every year at Greenwood Cemetery, which is moderated by death doula and friend Gabrielle Gatto, who is a legend, a death queen. She hosts Grieving and Weaving and some other things at Greenwood, where everyone crochets and talks about grief, and really just like a wonderful person. And Rooftop is just a great, like Inwood Art Works, great community.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, great community nonprofit. And big giant projector in Greenwood Cemetery, big moon behind the projector. It was like a full moon that night.
Wow.
It was a nice turnout, and the most beautiful part was that I was there with a lot of my end-of-life care friends who helped make the movie possible, and one of my participants, Stephanie, was there. And the movie basically starts with a scene of her on her deathbed, which is pretty intense, and she was there with her family.
That's amazing.
It was incredible. Yeah.
What was her reaction? And the family's reaction.
She wrote a blog post about it, but it was really just like joy to be part of a collaborative community project.
There's your best review you're ever going to get. Right?
It's sort of like you can make them, like I'm talking about with outcome and process. Like that is the outcome.
Yeah.
In some way.
You got your stamp.
Right.
If there is a validation that some filmmakers do need to say, like, oh, I've quote unquote made it, like the film was worth it, kind of thing. Yeah, I think that if you needed one, that was it.
Yeah. And then I think the other highlight of making the movie was one of the participants' story is a spoiler, but one of the participants does pass away, and I speak with his son, and I got to share the interview I did with his father a week before his passing, in which he talks about how much he loves his son unconditionally, and how his son is his legacy. And to be able to pass that along was just like that. If that is the only thing that came out of the movie, it would have been a success.
Awesome. Yeah. Love it. So aside from this project, what's next?
Yeah, so I'm continuing in this sort of like heavy realm. I tried to get away from it, but I didn't manage to. Next one.
You thought the crayons would be a good influence to keeping you honest, and no.
Yeah, I know. So, but next one, I left a whole bunch of big wheat paste posters and stickers around the city. They say, leave an anonymous voicemail for somebody no longer in your life. And oh my God, it's been incredible. People have just had the most beautiful moments of catharsis. Just all these unsaid, unspoken messages. So many people just at the end of their message saying like, "Thank you for this opportunity," or like, "I didn't know that I would be crying here, but here I am." Woven these together and found where they meet, and turned everybody into rats.
Here comes the rats. We're ready to tie in the rats.
There's the rats. So everybody, they're like rats, but they're also kind of people. They're like somewhere in between.
Okay.
And weaving this together as a portrait of the city and maybe a little bit of a portrait of people.
Well, New York and rats are very synonymous. So
yeah, exactly.
Can't have one without the other, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And it's people. Another heavy one, but hopefully not a downer. You know what I mean? It's like hopefully still affirming.
So where are you at in the process with that?
I have an animatic edit, which I'm workshopping to get just right, and I have a finished scene, and I'm just trying to raise the rest of the money so I can stay fed and keep my lights on, and ideally in the spring it'll be finished.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it. And I have to say, last but not least, being an aficionado, I'm sure listeners want to know, who has the best falafel uptown?
Best falafel uptown.
The carts, since you're an aficionado.
See, the downtown falafel happens to be a little better.
I hate
to say it. Might have to plead the fifth. Unfortunately, I'm prone to. I'll usually make my own falafel.
Oh,
up here, yeah.
So maybe it's your apartment has the best.
Must be, yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to say like maybe on McDougal Street or something like that.
Unfortunately, yeah, Lower East Side's got the falafels going on.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, but Inwood's got everything else. So.
We do very much. Well, Sam, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Before we say goodbye, where can we send people to find more out about your work?
Yeah, I've got an Instagram, which is samwsmith33, and I've got a website, which is samwsmith.net, which you can find some information on Embodied and upcoming screenings, and also on my new project. And also, before we go, I have to say thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aaron. Embodied would not have happened without Inwood Art Works.
My pleasure. It makes me happy to be able to, keep championing local artists like yourself. And even if you do leave the neighborhood eventually,
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Well, it's like Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Turn to the camera and give him.
I'll be back.
There you go. So watch out.
Inwood has my heart until the end of time. I'll be back. It's just the way it had to go.
That was a pledge. We'll take that.
I will be.
Well, and also I want to shout out to Madeline, your partner in crime and all the things, perhaps.
And associate producer and color artist on Embodied.
And there you go. And also started out with us as a production crew for Al Fresco a couple summers back. Mm-hmm. So we love it when the people in the community keep on working and find other good people to work with and hang with. So so thank you for all your artistry and keep on making it.
Thanks for helping it happen. I appreciate it, Aaron.
You bet. So again, I want to say thanks again to Sam for coming and joining me on this Artist Spotlight edition of Inwood Art Works On Air. Once again, it's where we meet the musicians, writers, filmmakers, theater makers, and artists of all stripes that make their home here in Uptown NYC, we'll say. If you have a moment, please show us some love and rate and review this podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to or on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. Many thanks for Good Shepherd here for hosting us and to heightsites.com for Uptown promotional support. You can support On Air, by the way. We are a non-for-profit, tax-deductible donation to inwoodartworks.nyc/donate. We very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Be sure to follow us on our social media to keep up with all that we do, which includes the Inwood Film Festival, Filmworks Al Fresco, pop-up art galleries, live performances, and so much more. Inwood Art Works On Air is proud to be supported in part by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council. And Inwood Art Works programming is made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts with support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature. From the top of Manhattan and the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Aaron Sims for Inwood Art Works On Air.